Are you? Hey? We got all cleaned up. I laid on a new layer of nice, brand new, super clean microfiber. That's what I do with this table. I just every now and again, when it gets a bit too dirty or whatever, I just put on a layer on a new piece. But for now, since I got such a minty, brand new guitar over there, I figured I'd take every precaution available to me and clean up. So I've deleted all the previous files off the camera. I set up the new amp and the little condenser microphone I know I shouldn't be using for a guitar to bring you a little bit better sound for 2017 until I can afford a better solution. We're cleaned up here, kids. Let's go see what we got. Woo! As Mr. Cockery would say. I love that guy. He's such a good player. Anyway, listen. I got this 90s tan brown leather case through a guitar trade. And I decided that my friend Mick needed to have it. So she bought it off me for about half what I was looking to get for it. But I think you'll agree that she made the right choice over keeping her guitar in a Gibson gig bag versus this beauty of a case. I mean, you just don't see them in this kind of condition. With the shroud all nicely attached. I mean, you just don't see. Code's never been set, although some idiot marked an L on there for I don't know what reason. But boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, look what Mick bought. A very clear case of me rubbing off on somebody I know. She got gassing for a Gibson as soon as she played mine. But oh man, did she make a good choice. Like a look at this. It's stunning. And I don't really much myself like uncovered pickups, but on this guitar, it looks fantastic. It looks right. I don't think covered pickups would make this guitar look any better. And that's something I would normally like totally go for. But that just looks stunning. Brand new 2016 Goldtop. I think it's like a tribute model. These are on sale right now if you're on Canada at Long and McQuaid's. I'm not sure what they're going for, $8.99, something like that maybe, but not very expensive. And holy cow, it sounds thick and nasty. Wow, it sounds really good. But it needs a major setup. Like, a major setup. It plays like poo right now. It does not play well. It's not been set up. It's lost whatever setup it had from the factory. But anyway. Also, so if you're wondering how Gibson... Oh, for fuck's sakes, just focus. If you're wondering how Gibson gets away making US guitars for these prices, this is how. Fit and finish. The work I'm about to put into making this guitar lose all of its sharp edges, like this fingerboard is really sharp. It feels really sharp on your fingers. My 2015 Junior feels a million times better than this. So this is right out of... Nobody's touched this. They pulled this out of the back room for her. So this has not been hanging on a wall or anything like that. but just super, like you can see that. You can look at that crisp line at the end of the fingerboard. This is what you're giving up when you buy a less expensive Gibson fit and finish. Right? Like everything's done just a little bit faster and to not as quite as high a standard as you would get on a more expensive guitar. But it's funny because from year to year, I mean, even depending on the price bracket, like some guitars are set up better. I don't know. Maybe they wanted people to be really blown away with the 2015 lineup, so they were really well set up, like my SG was, and this Junior really is. But this was cranked out. I mean, it's awesome, don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here complaining. If all you've got to do is a bit of a setup and a bit of cleanup to a nice US-made guitar like this, like you're doing okay. Anyway, the action needs to come down some. The entire setup needs to be done. Strings are a bit high right now, but just stunning value. Like this is brand new stock out of the store. Yeah, and like I said, on a guitar like this, these pickups really work. Like this, these uncovered pickups really look good. So it's all black in the back. And these new pickup covers, those are anti-static, I read. This stuff here now, so don't rip those off your guitar. Those are anti-static. But anyway, there she is. Satin. 2016 model. Just, it's got a very nice profile on the neck. Very nice. Somebody mentioned on my Facebook that they thought the neck was too heavy, it was too thick on this. I've felt some baseball baddie type necks, and this is not one of them. This is really flat. The profile is really flat along the back and nicely rounded over here. It's very, very comfortable to hold. If you've got small hands like Mick's a girl, she's got smaller hands, I'm sure she's going to find this comfortable. It's got a very nice, comfortable profile, I would say. My Junior has a way fatter neck. It's way more rounded. But it's pretty flat along the back. Very comfortable to hold in your hand. Anyway, let's see what this thing sounds like. It sounds crazy good, boys and girls. Alright kids, so we're going to try something new here. One of my biggest gripes about making videos is the sound quality that I'm clearly missing when I record like these just little silly, stupid little intros, right? I just want you to hear a little bit of what the guitar sounds like, and then get a sense of what it actually size. Moron. Oh, this shit's already recording. Alright kids, will admit, that last part didn't go very well. I had to try 3 times to record the damn audio, but obviously I've got a few things to work out there. Anyway, that's my commitment, is to try and improve the sound quality of the before and after demos. And, budget permitting, hopefully get a new camera this year too. Anyway, I'm gonna get the strings off this thing. See you back in a seckie. Because I think the kids are coming home and it's about to be noisy. Okay, you know what I hate more than absolutely anything? Is tied on strings. For absolute fuck's sakes, don't do this. This is just... You know who does this? You know what kind of people do this? People who don't play guitar a lot. People who don't change their strings an awful lot do this kind of bullshit. Know-it-all. It's that know-it-all guy who thinks that he knows everything, and he's been doing this because his Uncle Jim taught him how to do this since forever ago, but it's just wrong. This is just stupid and pointless and a waste of time. It's just, if you string your guitar up properly and you stretch your strings, this is just a stupid, pointless exercise in absolute stupidity. Don't do this garbage. And if this came from the factory like this, holy. I don't know. But this is just the dumbest thing. Just makes taking your strings on and off a pain. Like, look what I'm having to do. This is like if you're trying to do this with your fingers. Jesus Christ. This is stupid. Okay, enough complaining. Okay, I'm like still fighting with this. Seriously, if you don't want to have to go get a tetanus shot every time you change your strings, don't do this. Oh my God, what a pain. It's just one of those myths that gets perpetuated for no good reason. This is just the stupidest thing you can do with your strings. Yeah, if you like getting tetanus shots, if you want to get one every time you have to change your strings, then do this, because this is stupid. In fact, if you do this, you deserve to get tetanus. Fuck me, what a pain. Like, that took way too long. That took an inordinately long amount of time. Alright. I have to be honest, I haven't done a lot of reading about this guitar. I quickly looked it up. Oh, I was hoping to see magnets. Maganoots. I was secretly hoping to see magnets there, but no magnets. I think it's the Epiphones that have the magnets, eh? Where that just sticks in there. Like, if you can put it on your lower line guitars, you should put it on these. What does this say? Advanced Plating Ink. Fantastic. That's hilarious. I don't think I've ever taken notice of that. That's what it says on the bottom of the... I'm going to have to buy me a drug dealer scale in the new year also, because I want to start weighing these parts. A lot of people make a lot of claims in my comment section, especially about tuners, about how locking tuners are going to make your headstock neck heavy and all this kind of stuff, and I've put so many locking tuners on guitars. I just don't buy it. So I'd love to start weighing some of these parts and getting like, you know, getting down into some of the interesting claims that people make about how these things affect the performance of your guitar. Yeah, that's also advanced plating ink. You see API there. Hope you can see that. You know what? Just for funsies, let's pull up one of these pickups. Let's see what it says on the bottom there. I mean, we have it here in front of us, right? Would be a bit stupid not to have a look inside. And I'll pull the back cover off. Pretty positive we're going to see a PCB in there, because that's another way that you reduce manufacturing costs. Because you make a PCB, it gets wave soldered, it's really fast, it's really quick to produce. So then it's not necessarily, I don't know. I'm kind of talking out my ass. Somebody out there watching this probably knows much more about this than I do, but I can imagine these are not American-made parts. Right, so that the claims now that these are American-made guitars starting to teeter on American-assembled guitars. Oh yeah, okay, so it's a 498T. Oh wow, really gold inside. Have a look. Yeah, so they just sprayed the whole works in there. It's a nice clean cavity. Nice. Okay, well, I don't need to mess with that. Just wanted to have a quick look at it because why not? Right? I should say that when you're putting parts like this back on, these little screws will bite. They will bite into a piece of wood. So unless your screw feels like it's going down with virtually no effort, be sure you're lined up with the original screw holes, because these little screws are sharp and you can easily start digging a new hole where you don't want one and misalign your part, which would totally suck. So unless these screws feel like they're going back down with little to no effort, if you feel any resistance, then just double check that you're lined up. Alright, should we poke in the back here, kids? Oh wow, it's a bit brown. Actually, it looks a little bit brown. I thought it was black. Maybe it's just my lighting. Yeah, it's my new jumper. My mom got it for me at Costco. She was a bit embarrassed about my other dirty one. O'Neill. Okay. So yeah, these new things, I read that the whole idea behind this new thing is that this is a bit of shielding. Because I have to admit, I was looking at my one and I was like, I don't really like the look of that. I prefer the look of a clean one. Maybe I'll swap that out for just like a plain one. And then I ended up reading that it's like that for a reason. Okay, let's have a look inside, kids. Yeah, we did. Alright. Yeah, just what we thought. Just the standard. Yeah, that's totally brown. It's like browny red. Weird. So it's not black. It's totally like a browny red. Cool. That's really neat. Oh wow, I can totally see it now. It's like sort of a purpley, browny red. Burgundy. Really dark. Looks black. But that's the true color right there. Yeah, nice clean install. A lot of people complain about these PCBs. Honestly, I can't imagine why this setup would make your signal path any worse. But I am curious to try something with that in the new year, so stand by for that. Yeah, check out this I don't know what's in there, but you can tell it's totally impregnated with something. I bet Ave would know. Hey, he would scratch it with some shit and be all like, that's poly something fun, filled resin glass fiber, Trick 9001, 69er 2579er 4827er. Yeah, he would know. Anyway, back in a second. Alright, so, I mean, while we're looking at this thing, I think another one of the ways that they keep the cost down on these is the finish, obviously, right? The finish is satin on these, but also it's not quite as obvious as some of the previous years, but it's not all the way grain filled either. It's really obvious on the neck. Let's see if I can bring you in close enough to see that. And it attracts fingerprints like crazy. So you can see here right from the factory, you don't get a really glossy finish at this price point. But this is super comfortable to play, right? Like this, the side benefit of this is that it ends up being really comfortable to play. And I don't know if, for those of you who've been following me for a long time, if any of you remember that Dean Zielinski guitar I had here ages ago, and they had purposely like etched, or I don't know how the hell they did it, or carved a pattern in there to make the neck easy to play. And this, I'll admit, this neck feels really, really comfortable. It's not sticky at all. You know, like when you get the glossy finish necks, it's not at all sticky. So it's really nice. But yeah, it's interesting now under the better light here that we figure out that this is actually more of a burgundy color. That is really cool. Okay, so I mean, it's not out of the ordinary for my camera not to focus because of fucking Sony. Stupid Sony. Okay, but those are dirtier as frig. They got a nice layer of corrosion. If I run my fingers across them, they feel rough, so that's not going to make for a very nice playing. So in addition to a setup, I'm just going to quickly tape the whole thing up and give the frets a quick shine. Alright, so I thought I'd just turn the camera back on because I was just thinking to myself, I mean, this is something I think about all the time, but if a company like if a guitar shop like Anderton's, which is an independent shop, right? I mean, I don't know if they have multiple locations. But they're not. I don't think they're a national retailer. They're in the UK. Anyway, my point is that this guitar was bought here through a Canadian national retailer, Long & McQuaid. And this guitar plays like this. Well, I'm never one to mince words. This guitar plays like shit right now. The action is really high. I measured everything already. It's way outside of Fender spec. Fuck, why do I always want to say Fender? It's way outside of Gibson spec right now. So clearly in shipping and just sitting for however long this guitar has been sitting, waiting to be sold. Or maybe just right from the factory, who knows? Doesn't have a good setup anymore. Not only that, but these frets have a layer of corrosion now that make the strings, that feel like sandpaper on your strings. And this isn't, I mean, the joke is, right, like the running joke is, oh, no guitar comes out of a guitar shop playing well. You always have to pay to have setup, or you always have to do something to it. But if independent stores, or stores that are nowhere near Because it's not just Long and McQuaid's. I'm not picking on Long and McQuaid's in Canada. This is like, you pretty well go into any store, any kind of store, and you're getting a guitar out just like this. It's not just them. So I'm by no means just picking on them. But this is where the guitar was bought, and this is how it came out of there. And I think, like, I was just reading an article the other day about how guitar manufacturers are desperate to try and find a way to get young kids playing guitars and to keep them playing guitars, to make them lifelong customers. So they've gone to all this bullshit, to go to social media, and like, if you notice Fender's social media presence, it's exploded over the last couple of years. With all the really hipstery pictures that they take now, and all the, like, guitars out in the middle of the road in New York City, that kind of bullshit, right? And I'm so cynical that I'm just sitting here thinking, like, Jesus Christ, Fender. If you're so concerned about getting lifelong customers, put well-playing instruments in the hands of new players. Like, this guitar plays appallingly right now. This is not how a properly set up guitar should be playing. It's terrible. And I'm confident that Mick is going to notice a dramatic improvement just by doing a quick setup. Like, if all I did to this was ignored the frets and just tightened everything back up into alignment, which isn't much. There's not much to do here to put this. Needs a truss rod adjustment. The action needs a little bit of adjustment. That's really it, right? There's not. It's 5-10 minutes work here to get this thing playing properly. Really. If you did nothing but just make it play properly, it's like 5-10, maybe 20 minutes worth of work maximum, if you were going really slow. But if all you did was pick this up and make a few adjustments just to make it play properly, like, that would take 10 minutes. It would literally take no time to pull the truss rod cover off, make it, and test and have a look to see what the relief in the neck is and that kind of stuff, and just take a couple of quick measurements of the action. Like, that takes no time. Obviously, I'm going to a bit more trouble here to make sure that this plays fabulously, or as fabulously as I'm capable of making it play. But for a store, I mean, come on. The time that you take to unbox and unpack a guitar and put it up on the wall, like, seriously, take 5 more minutes and just do a couple of quick measurements. And make sure it's within factory spec. Make sure it's still reasonably within factory spec, because most of what makes you want to play a guitar is how it feels. It's a very tactile thing. You don't, like, if it feels bad, it can look as wonderful as you like. And this guitar, let me tell you, it's pretty wonderful looking. But if it doesn't feel right to play, you're going to give it up. So if stores and manufacturers got into bed a little bit more closely and said, listen, we want our products to feel as good as they can going into the hands of new consumers, you have to set these up. Right? Like, that's got to be part of the arrangement. You can't just put these things out on the floor and assume that in shipping that everything stayed the way it should stay. You have to take 5 minutes and make, like, if I were Gibson and if I were Fender, I would go to every one of my dealers right now and I would say, listen, if you want to continue to carry Fender guitars or Gibson guitars, here's a little checklist of things that you have to do before you sell a guitar to a customer. The end. 5 minutes worth of measurements just to make sure that you know, like the truss rod is good and the action is okay, that it's in tune. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you picked up in a guitar in a guitar shop that's just dreadfully out of tune? How many times do you see guys just walking around guys who work in guitar shops just walking around doing nothing, standing around talking about their gig last night? Like, go tune a guitar. If I owned a guitar shop, I'd be on top of every one of my employees. Like, if every guitar is not in tune, then you're not doing your job. If all of these guitars aren't playing well, you're just standing around. If I'm just paying you to stand around and do nothing, go tune a guitar. Go make sure every guitar is in tune, clean, ready to play. Ready to play, ready to be sold. Right? Or go make sure that every guitar has all of its parts. How many times have you picked up a guitar and like this is missing, or the little bits and bobs that people can walk off with? And instead of wasting so much money paying a hipster photographer to go take pictures of your guitars beside roadworks equipment in New York City, have your dealers make sure that your guitars play well, right? Like, eliminate the one, I'm certain, one of the probably biggest reasons that people abandon their guitar is that they play terrible. And if you don't know any better, I mean, I'm not joking when I said, I wasn't joking in my other video when I said, I didn't even know having a setup was a thing. And I was in my mid-30s. I didn't even know that paying for a setup was a thing. And I'm 42 right now. So, I think that's most people. I think that's most people who pick up a guitar. I think that's probably 80 or 90% of people who pick up a guitar. Those are 80% of your customers. Not 80% of your customers are probably not professional musicians. They're probably just regular guys at home. Start catering to this market. What's that?
I'm watching you. I'm watching you.
Where did you guys go?
Justin.
Did you get some new clothes?
Hey, I already told you mine. Okay.
Okay, Miranda sings.
Be quiet, Stinky.
So delicious.
Where's my squishy?
I'm so ticked off at you. I'm so ticked off.
You got rid of my squishy doing.
I didn't even get anything good for Christmas. So good, Megan. It's so good. What did you get there? A new crown or something? Come and show me.
Check it out.
What even is it? Oh wow, that's pretty stylish. Where did you get that even?
Just this.
Oh my goodness, even. Justice, is that what you said? What's that, Mommy? Is that a kid's store?
Yeah, it's a clothing store for preteens and teens. And that's what
Oh my goodness. This guitar is dirty. This guitar is unusually dirty for a brand new guitar. An unusual amount of factory dirt. What are you doing there, Max? Don't mess with my stuff. That's not really cool, right? It's not really super cool to do that. Yeah, it's really dirty. This is unacceptably sharp, so I'm gonna... Can't get them like this anymore, boys. Crimson Guitars. Fretboard restorative. Look, they painted right over top of the nut. Weird. Okay, well, we're not gonna have a problem with that. Anyway, the neck is almost perfectly straight. This is just a little bit of daylight under those frets. Okay, I like to start with a Gibson neck. Pretty well perfectly flat. You know what, the other thing is that this is a good point that you never see brought up often enough. Look, if I owned a guitar shop and I saw somebody small like Mick buying a guitar like this, like a Les Paul that's normally strung up with 10s, I would probably suggest to her that we restring the guitar before she takes it home with a set of 9s, because it'll probably feel more comfortable to play. And that's just what she's done here, is go from what normally is a set of 10s on a Les Paul to a set of 9s, and that's going to make that alone, that's going to make that a pile more comfortable to play. Alright, tuned up, strings on, setup time. It's 20. Okay. She needs to tighten up a little bit. A little too much. Perfect. 12's just starting to pinch under there. Okay, now let's check this abominable action. Holy, that is shocking. Still needs to come down. Nope, some more. That's much better. Where are we at, cool cat? That's good where it is. That's good where it is. Okay, that's it. Think about it. Done. Completely finished with adjustments. That was the quickest part of it. Quick truss rod adjustment and a simple action adjustment. And if every store took 5 minutes and made these simple adjustments for a customer before they left the store with an ill-playing guitar, you'd have more repeat business, and new guitar players wouldn't give up playing. A shitty playing guitar wouldn't be the reason new guitar players gave up. And it doesn't hurt to tell customers about the maintenance a guitar requires. But that's playing a million times better, and the really important part of what I just did here took 5 minutes. And that's already playing a shitload better and more comfortable and properly. And that took 5 minutes. Make a quick action adjustment and a quick truss rod adjustment, and it's now back within factory specification. There you go, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. Have a well-playing guitar. Instead of, here you go, here's a ill-adjusted, expensive guitar that you're going to want to quit as soon as you get it home. And she told me, it was the first thing she told me, it doesn't play very well. And as soon as I played, I was like, yeah, no shit, it doesn't play very well. But now it does. Now it plays awesome. Now it plays the way it's supposed to play.